So you're hearing all the buzz about semaglutide, right? But it's a lot. One article says it's a miracle, the next makes it sound like a nightmare. It can get super confusing. That's why we're here. We're going to cut right through all of that noise and get to the honest truth about the side effects and, most importantly, the safety. And yeah, you've definitely seen the scary stories. I mean, they're all over the place. You hear about Ozempic face, severe nausea, and even these really intense headlines about pancreatitis. And look, it's totally normal to see that stuff and feel a little freaked out. It's designed to grab your attention, and it works. So what's the real story here? What's the honest truth? That's the big question, isn't it? Let's forget the hype and the horror stories for a second. We're going to break down what it's really like, what you can actually expect. We'll separate the common, totally manageable stuff from the rare but serious risks you need to know about. All right, let's dive right in. First up, the common stuff. This is what most people really want to know. What am I probably going to feel day to day? And the key word to remember through all of this is manageable. Okay, so let's tackle the number one side effect everyone talks about, nausea. But here's what's so interesting. When you actually look at the data, the vast majority of people, we're talking 70 to 80%, don't get it at all. So for the 20 to 30% of people who do feel it, it's usually pretty mild to moderate. So why does this nausea even happen? Well, it's not some weird random side effect. It's actually a sign the medication is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Semaglutide slows down how fast your stomach empties, which sends that, hey, I'm full signal to your brain. That's fantastic for weight loss, but it can also, make you feel a little queasy at first while your body is figuring it all out. But here's the best part. It is so manageable. This is not something you just have to suffer through. Any good medical plan will start you on a really low dose and build up slowly. And on top of that, simple things you can do at home, like eating smaller meals, skipping the greasy or super spicy stuff, and just staying hydrated can make a huge difference. And this is so important to remember, it doesn't last forever. For most people, it's just a temporary adjustment period. Give it about 2 to 4 weeks, and as your body gets used to the medication, that feeling typically just fades away. Now, besides nausea, a smaller group of people, maybe 10 to 20%, might experience other GI symptoms, like diarrhea, constipation, or bloating. And just like with nausea, the game plan is pretty much the same. The fix is usually super straightforward. Drink plenty of water and gradually add more fiber to your diet to help your system get back on track. Okay. We've covered the common stuff. Now it's time to tackle those scary headlines we talked about. We have to talk about the rare but serious risks. Not to freak you out, but to separate fact from fear, so you actually know what's what. Before I even say what the risk is, I just want you to look at this number. Less than 1%. We're starting here for a reason, because it's so important to understand that what we're about to discuss is really, really uncommon. That number, that's the documented risk of getting pancreatitis. And yes, pancreatitis is absolutely a serious condition that needs immediate medical attention. But it affects an incredibly tiny fraction of users. This is a perfect example of how a scary headline can blow the actual statistical risk way out of proportion. So being smart about this means knowing exactly what to watch for. The big warning signs are severe pain in your upper stomach, a pain that kind of spreads to your back, along with nausea and vomiting. If you feel anything like that, the instructions are simple and non-negotiable. Stop taking the medicine and call your doctor immediately. It's also worth mentioning that there's a small increased risk of gallstones. But here's the key context you need. That risk goes up with any kind of rapid weight loss, not just from this medication. It's more connected to the weight loss itself than the drug. This all leads us to the most important part of this whole conversation. All of it, the common side effects, the rare risks, it all points to one single non-negotiable factor. You absolutely have to be under medical supervision. This is your safety net. A good doctor does so much more than just write a prescription. They do a full-on safety check. They'll go through your entire medical history. Have you ever had pancreatitis, thyroid issues? They look at all your other meds. They do all of this to make sure this is actually a safe and smart choice specifically for you. And then there's the dosing, which is not a one-size-fits-all situation, not even close. A doctor will always start you on the lowest possible dose and will only increase it gradually based on how you're feeling and how your body is responding. Honestly, that careful process alone prevents the majority of significant side effects from ever happening.
I mean, just look at this comparison. It's night and day. With a doctor, you get safety screenings, monitored dosing, professional support. You have a team. But when you try to get this stuff from unregulated sources, you get none of that. No screening, no known dosage, and if something goes wrong, you are completely on your own. It's just a massive, unnecessary gamble.
So, after walking through the common effects, putting the rare risks into perspective, and seeing the crucial role of a doctor, we're back to that original question. What's the final verdict?
And the answer from the medical experts is pretty clear. Yes, for the vast majority of people, semaglutide is considered safe. But, and this is the most important but of all, only when it's prescribed and monitored by a physician. That last part is everything. So the best way to think about it is this. Semaglutide isn't a magic bullet. It's a powerful tool. And like any powerful tool, it can do amazing things in the right hands, but it has to be used correctly, with proper guidance to be both safe and successful. The whole point of breaking this down is to replace fear with facts. So now that you have a realistic understanding of what this all means, the benefits, the risks, and the absolute need for professional guidance, the question is, what's your next step?